Hey, my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I'd like to start off every day with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. And of course, I think of my favorite quote of the century by Oscar Wilde, which says, "Life is too important to be taken seriously, so lighten up, folks." Okay, so today's topic is, drumroll please, Life of an Empress / Drag Queen Part 3. Okay, so part one was an overview. Part two was me talking about being vice president. So now part three, Empress. So being VP actually did set me up beautifully because I, knew the inner workings of the organization, and I was so heavily involved that it just made perfect sense for me to become Empress. So that whole process, a Night of a Thousand Gowns, which always happens at the end of March, the elections happened the September before that. So well in advance who's going to be the next emperor and empress. And you kind of need that much time to prepare. So as a general rule, when people become a monarch, emperor or empress, you have your step-up coronation. And as a general rule, most people do a procession. So you have the different people from your family, and most of the time people just basically walk and all within the theme, costumed to the theme that your reign is going to be. So, but being a performer and having the dance background, I was always well, bitch, I ain't gonna walk. I can dance. So my production was all different dance parts. So the first part, I hired these two modern dancers, and they did this beautiful 2-minute adagio modern dance piece to Grace Jones's Slave to the Rhythm. And it went from that to, then the next thing was four of my girls doing Free Your Mind by In Vogue, the first minute and a half of it. So that was this whole big wonderful number. Then from there, I went to what I called my Latin section, where from Strictly Ballroom, Love is in the Air, that version, I had, well, how many queens? It was 2 guys and 3 queens that were doing this whole choreograph thing. So my entire thing was completely choreographed. And then for myself, I wanted to do a flamenco dance. So prior to that, I went to Ballet Hispanico on the Upper West Side, I think it is, and I took flamenco classes. And I, of course, choreographed my own part of it, and that was a good 2.5 minutes, and that was also music from Strictly Ballroom. And in between the Latin section and my section, then also from that same soundtrack, there was this instrumental part, and then I had the procession of someone holding my scepter, someone holding my crown, someone holding a bayonet or dagger, of all things. Is, honey, let's keep it real. I'm from the Bronx, so you got to have a knife in there somewhere, right? So they did all of that. Then it was my part, and it was for me, it was wonderful because it was different than what anyone had ever done. Like I said, most people just do a procession of walking. And I was like, bitch, anyone can walk. I'm a performer. I want to dance, but in order, in order to do something like that, of that magnitude, or even if you are just doing a procession, we kind of need those 6 months because, you have all these people involved, and people have to be in costumes, and, there's so much intricate details that you have to do to make that come to fruition. And so for me, just the whole process of it was quite incredible. And, and of course, you all know I'm very OCD, so managing and doing all of these different things at the same time, that's when I'm at my best, because, you're still I had already stepped on as VP, but then I had all that time to prepare for that, and knock on wood, I utilized every minute of it. And when all was said and done, I was very, very happy with how it came out. And more importantly, I think I was happy about the fact that it was something different that no one had ever done. Because like I said, I'm like, girl, anyone can walk. I could do a little more than that. No offense to the empresses prior to me or after, because that's beautiful too. But my style is such that, girl, I'm a performer. So I like it to be that. So it was wonderful. And so how that works is you step up that night. So the night that I stepped up, the emperor and empress who had been reigning the year leading up to that, it is their step down coronation. So then the coronation, their step down ball, my coronation. So then the emperor and empress that are stepping down, that ball, the theme and everything is based on what they want it to be. And then at the end of the night, that's when the new emperor and empress step up. And then, at that point, it's official that I was then empress, and my best friend Damien, hey wacky, was my emperor. And then we reigned for a year. And then you'll hear in another episode where then a year later, then the coronation was based on us, like our theme, what we wanted it to be. And then we step down, and then the next two step up. So it's this whole big process. And as I said before, it's like this nonprofit fundraising fraternities, because there are emperors and empresses all over the nation. I think they're up to over 70 chapters. So every weekend there's virtually an emperor and empress stepping down while the next two are stepping up. And then we all travel to one another's balls. And so it's fun. I'm going to do a couple of episodes on that as well. But that's the whole like stepping up process. And thank God I had 6 months. And, thank God I chose to do it the way I did it. So, all right, guys, I am going to try to make this one short. I always say that, but because I don't have a clock nearby, I have no idea how long I've been talking. And bitch, let's keep it real. I got the gift of gab, and I just talk. All right, guys, don't forget, thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. I'm sure you all have. Tell your friends, and check out my social media as well. Stay safe and healthy, and I will see you all very soon. Love you.